by Guðrún Kristín Magnúsdóttir. Norse Edda Spiritual Highlights, pure theosophy in our ancient heritage. I shall give thee a lift to the knowledge. I shall make thee literate on Allegory and Symbolic language of our ancient, purely spiritual myths and poems. My theories. Óðsmál, the Unseen Reality, 2013, International Standard Book Number, Icelandic number, available on Amazon and also on this website. Óðsmál is recited to explain the abyss of meaning that we have overlooked. Our forefathers' priceless wisdom now rediscovered. Pure spirituality, the abyss of being. The very purpose of our being here. We give the sleeping beauty a kiss of love and we wake up. How many know why they have decided to be born? On Amazon, search Óðsmál for some books from Freyjukettir, Norræn Menning, Independent Research Institute. Freyjukettir, the cats of Freyja. Norræn Menning, non-profit cultural enterprise. Freyja is the goddess of creation. Girls and women are, in our ancient siður, heathenry, the great goddess incarnated and revered accordingly. By the way, do you know that women in Iceland do not change their names on getting married? They do not belong to a man or his family, no more than he belongs to her and her family. Freyja means foam, her name derived from Sanskrit. Also the name of Aphrodite denotes foam, as Aphros in Greek is foam. These goddesses are not coming out of their bath at all. They never went in. They are space-time foam. That's my theory. And what would that be? A bubble, one of millions becoming a little universe, emerging from the abyss of waters, the unified field of total natural law. Our Norse Ginnungagap, the gap, the great white Brahman. Freyja guards her Brísingamen, the brightest jewel, which is mankind, us, Sanskrit Brish, shining. Here she is Menglöð, Sanskrit Manya, man. She is Kriya Shakti, the organizing power of total natural law. Power of action, which runs the whole universe. Freyja must never become weak in the lives of men. Total potential of natural law must always remain awake in our consciousness. In essence, we are Ginnungagap, the great void, consciousness. Nothing else is. All there is the gap. All we see, all we think, all we claim to be here is that. Only that. All there is consciousness, Ginnungagap, Brahman. We should know, and our parents should know why they are born. Óðsmál means the dialogue of God Óður. His name from Sanskrit Abivat. Abivat meant to cause, to understand, to awaken. God Óður is Freyja's consort. But the trouble is that most of the time he is not to be found. Óður might be another name for Odin. Some gods and goddesses have many names. Some names in turn are for many gods or goddesses. Names of Odin are many. Their profound meaning correlates in its context to what the specific poem or myth conveys in its case. Icelandic for poem is kvæði, from Sanskrit katha. Odin, Jódihin, Gautur, also Yad. The name Odin is from Sanskrit, as are almost all names and concepts in Norse mythology. Odin also correlates to Latin vates, opposite to vasita. When Odin travels, he is gangleri, the traveling. Sanskrit Gangalahari, a wave of wisdom from the sacred river. But we are not teaching geography here. We are lifting thought beyond cues and mental concepts into the realm of no thought, pure being. Personifications and symbols can be really misleading, meant to indicate and explain, but fail to do so. And the cues keep the ignorant listener in the realm of thoughts and things. He is illiterate on symbolic language. He believes in the letter. He sees not the allegory and hidden meaning. Odin's name Síðhöttur is not the misleading wearing a white-brimmed hat as the illiterate, the believing in the letter, picture him. Síðhöttur is derived from Sanskrit siddhartha, meaning he who has perfection as a goal. See Keshavadeva Shastri and Christian Andreas Holmboe on Sanskrit and Old Norse words. This very perfection is our goal. We should head for purity. We do not even know what goddess Sin tells us about purity. She is sattva, and her name also related to sin, as she is a siva. This perfection, purity, is the very purpose of every human lifespan. The trouble is that no one tells us. Why? Why does not anyone tell us? Nobody seems to know. The knowledge seems to have slept during ages. In the poem Grímnismál, Odin is Grímnir, Gríma in Icelandic means night or mask. Einar Pálsson sees here the night sky and the zodiac houses in which our deities live. My pictures on Einar's findings, geocentric. Odin's name Ómi is the sounding akin to Om or Ymir, or as Einstein and Hegelin see it. Ymir is the sounding creation, all sound, all sounding. See Natvarja and N.S. Rajaram. The deciphered Indus script, mythology, readings, interpretations. Indus script, the mother of all alphabetic scripts. Gundestrup Vessel and Isha Dya Atta Maera, Natvarja and Rajaram. The horns are not horns. They are the 5 Mahabhuta, our Norse 5 höfuðskepnur, main created. Space, air, fire, water, earth, the 5 elements. Valhöll, Valhalla, is our goal fully alive. Val is from Sanskrit Val, and we are going back home, returning home. This is our real home. Do not confuse Valhöll with imported alien abode of the dead. That does not belong in our forni siður, the Puran Siddhi, our ancient, purely spiritual Norse tradition and wisdom. Valhöll is our goal of life, preferably reached in this our present lifespan, ævi. The Icelandic word ævi, lifespan, is derived from Sanskrit ayus. For many a man, Valhöll is somewhat clouded. Lack of education is to blame. We are not told. Nobody seems to know. We are kept ignorant. To become an einherji living Valhöll means to reach a higher stage of consciousness. This is the very purpose of choosing to be born and to live in the body we make and wear for this lifespan. We do not understand the concept higher stages of consciousness. Why? Nobody tells us, because educators do not know. We might not know that we only know the pseudo stages called waking state, deep sleep, REM sleep, that's dreaming, bluff, shrouded. But there is the 4th. We are not told about the 4th state of consciousness, the state of transcendence. The less we know that there are stages higher than the 4th that are our goal. We live a material life only. Besides, that is not enough to talk about evolving to higher stages of consciousness. We must transcend to get any progress in this task. And transcending is the shortcut and fast train to the supreme goal. Without a good technique to nísa niður, transcend, evolution to Valhöll could take many lifespans. Many lifespans are thus wasted. When we reach Valhöll, we have become pure enough to see, really see, that our innermost core is consciousness, and all the created stuff is aloof, apart from us. We see the origin of all, and we see also the world of Gungnir, from which we create our world. We are now seers, like goddess Sauga, pronounced Sauga. She is Frigg, the highly revered goddess, her name from Sanskrit Priya, and she is Hlín. In our Edda poem, Hávamál, we have the knowledge about transcending. From the Edda poem Hávamál, 3rd part, last part of wisdom, Rúnatal, on how to transcend thought to the realm of the great white Brahman, Atma, which is our pure consciousness beyond human thought. Veitek ar ek hjekk, I know I was pending. Vindga meiði á on the friendly tree or windy place. Nætur allar 9, 9 nights. 9 is no specific time. Geiri undaður, opening for flow with my spear, og gefin Óðni, and given to Óðinn. Sjálfur sjálfum mér, myself giving to myself. Á þeim meiði, on the tree, mangi veit hvers af rótum renn, which roots no man knows the origin of. Við hleyfi mig sældu, I had no need for bread from anyone, né við hornýi, nor needed I sip of worldly mead. Nýsta niður, I transcended. Nam upp rúnar, I was endowed with mighty runes. Æpandi nam, sounding I got. Fjall aftur þaðan, then I fell from there again into the realm of thoughts, that is. Fimbul ljóð 9, 9 mighty sound sacred poems. Nam af hinum fræga sinni Bölþórns beslu föður, I learned from the famous son of Bölþórn, father to Bestla. Og drikk gat, and I received to imbibe, ins dýra mjaðar, the most precious mead, auðsin óðureri, bathed by óðrerir who changes our innermost. Þá nam fræfast, then I became wise, og fróður vera, and all-knowing, og vaksa og vel hafast, grew and bloomed. Orð mér af orði orðs leitaði, from a word I found word, seeking words. Verk mér af verki verks leitaði, from action I found action, seeking actions. And the poem goes on to tell the benefits of transcending, to nourish life of man in his present body. All is told in past tense afterwards, because there is no human thought in the fourth state of consciousness, transcendental consciousness, but the benefits come into human life. Edda, Norse myth and poems, contain the abyss of meaning and pure spirituality. Once we become literate. To make us literate is the purpose of Óðsmál. We can learn an easy natural technique to transcend. TM, Transcendental Meditation, as taught by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. TM has been scientifically verified by hundreds of researchers. See tm.org. The ancient Irminsul has 3 roots like Askur Yggdrasils, the Norse tree of life. No one knows from where its roots come. They lie in the swir, which our worldly eyes do not perceive. All the same, we can easily go there. It's our innermost core anyway. That is done by transcending the world of human thoughts. In the hanging, in the pending, in nothingness. Even leaving our dear thoughts behind. And our dear individual consciousness. And the dear ego. No problem. This act is the easiest and most normal for humans. No obstacles exist. Bhagavad Gita, Pratyavayone Vidyate. We have an industrious little rat, a rodent named Rati. He who knows the way and knows where to go. He, Rati, makes wormholes for us. If you happen to know physics, you might think you know what wormholes are. But do not trust all what you learned. Wormholes are the easiest things to use. If some teacher or professor told you something else, do not believe him. Wormholes, through the space-time foam and our handy Rati, all we have to do is to leave our beautiful body and our dear thoughts in the realm of creation or universe and sneak into the nothing, infinity, in the guise of a worm. This is what Bölverkur does. He is Óðinn, and his name derives from Sanskrit bit, binna, bitta, to perforate, to make a rip, to split up. And what for? What do we gain by this slimy glide? The mead of wisdom from Gunnlöð, in our inner cave, Hnitzbjörg. We find our real selves. Know thyself, gnothi se auton. This is what the real philosophy is all about. How did we ever lose sight of what we really are? When we started to make a nervous system become an individual. Our ahamkar, the I-making, Vili overshadows Odin and Vili. Odin, Vili, Vili, Rishi Devata Chandas, Hilbert Space Observable States. Odin seeks knowledge. Vili starts seeking, finds Vili. As here there is nothing else to find than knowledge. Only pure knowledge is. But by the curiosity something gets created. Bhumirapo nalovayu kam mano budir evacha ahankar iti me binna prakritir ashtada. Note, in the gap, as nothing else is other than the gap, Brahman. Nothing can be out of the gap, as the unmanifest is infinity, the only there is. Refer to the teaching of the great enlightened guru and physicist Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. This creation game is simply a play of the gap, Brahma Lila. Our nervous system is our eight-legged Sleipnir, the slippery one, the one who slips or slides so that we can reach Ásgarður. Our nervous system is our vehicle. Here our Valkyria serves us. Sanskrit Val, we are coming home. We now reach Glaðheimar, the white and glad realm of Odin, our real home. Endlessly wide, as we are now eternity, that which alone is. When we transcend, in Old Norse Nisa niður, thought becomes a flickering wave that gets faint as to sacrifice itself into the gap Ginnunga, which is a huge wave of bliss and bliss alone. We gain the apples of immortality, the apples of Eden, ambrosia, amritanam. This is the fourth stage of consciousness. When we practice twice daily, regularly, we gradually imbibe purity and immortality in our waking state, our life on earth, and into our dreaming and sleeping too. This gives skill in action, karma sukausalam, fimbulrúnir, as easily as Jesus walks on water. Now we have powers. That is natural to us, the only natural state of a man, so that he can bear that name, a man. Fimbulrúnir are mighty runes. Note, not the same as written runes, our ancient alphabet or futhark. These are runes, and also musical notes we possessed in the ancient times. Our forefathers were amazing guys. These are t-shirts for tourists. Icelandic, being a Norse language, is unlike the Scandinavian languages in a way that we have a bunch of Gaelic words. The settlers were partly Norse and partly Gaelic-speaking Irish. Names and some cultural features in Iceland truly bear the marks of this fact. We should not confuse the Icelandic sagas on one hand, as these are literature, and on the other hand our spiritual heritage that most likely was orally conveyed for ages, later written in our precious manuscripts that we still own, at least some of them. In Edda poem Skírnismál, God Lord Freyr sends his divine ray, Skírnir, to a human girl, Gerður. She lives for her all worldly stuff only and refuses the divine gifts, really does not like that divine part of life and claims not to need it. Skírnir, now using magic, allows Gerður to see what awaits her, that is utter stagnation, if she claims the worldly to suffice. Reluctantly she agrees to meet God Freyr. Now listen, I wonder if deep inside we all know about Glaðheimar, the inner realm of expansion and bliss, know about our divine essence, because amazingly Gerður suggests, Logn fara lundur barri, there to meet the God Freyr, that is, transcend to nirvana. Do we all know what we are looking for all our lives? Do we all really know where it is to be found? My theosophical suggestion tells, yes, we know here deep inside. We only have forgotten for a while. For Skírnismál Ritual, a script for kids, containing explanation and true meaning of Edda poem, Edda kvæði, please go to Amazon, co.uk or com or Germany or France. In a state of ignorance, we are not seeing clearly. Ignorance is non-substantial, simply our lack of seeing. Ignorance is trolls, trull. Thor batters these trull or trolls. ignorance, to let in the goddess sun, our enlightenment. This is what Mjolnir is for. Mjolnir is not a hammer. Mjolnir is our svastika og suastika. Thor is not a guy with a hammer. He is our innermost power to rid us of all ignorance, so we can evolve to the highest. Skadi seeks Baldur, seeks the highest. We should do the same. We are here for enlightenment as a main purpose. We are not here to chase stuff, fill the garage with stuff before you die. Let our senses please our mind with more and more stuff. Neither are we here to do nothing. We are not here for mere excitement and adrenaline. We should know that the world is only gungnir, vibrations, which our five senses so dutifully bring to the mind to its delight. The word world means a man's lifespan. Icelandic veröld, that is veröld. Know that each one makes his own out of the gungnir brought to the mind by our senses. That is why worlds are as many as there are men, and know that each man's purity is the criterion on the quality of his world. Our mind is always seeking happiness, only we look for it in the wrong place. Our senses claim to be bringing that longed-for happiness, but the happiness is not in stuff. Happiness, bliss, is to be found inside. So take 180-degree U-turn and start looking inside. In other words, transcend. And here it is. Now listen, the bossy, worldly triguna of nature. We should know this. Our forefathers knew. Aesir, the gods, played happily in the field of dynamism, tún. They are the laws of nature, mighty, pure and always flawless. In Icelandic Old Norse, tefldu í túni, teitir váru, uns komu þursamegir þrír. Uns, until, came the three thirst sons, triguna. Do you know the triguna, the three qualities of nature? Do you know that they rule our life? No, you do not know. I'm sure you have never heard about them before, because we do not see them, and nobody tells us. Nobody seems to know. They are in the created part of your life, and are as bossy as to use you as a string puppy. Their names are Sattva, Rajas, Dhamma, and they are everywhere, in everything, always all three together, only not always in equilibrium. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna advises Arjuna, be without the three guna, nistraigunyo bhav. The reason is that they drive us crazy. We should get rid of them regularly. That we do by transcending. Use TM. It is tailored for the man living in the world. We transcend nature and her bossy thirst sons three, the triguna. Nature is but a veil that our eyes perceive and see, so hides from us reality, being, consciousness, ginnungagap, that which we are. We can only transcend using a technique that really leads to transcending the realm of thought. Concentration and contemplation techniques are not fit for the active man, lead perhaps to tiredness only and no enlightenment. There is a lot of practices around called meditation, but useless in leading to purity, useless for trying to transcend, actually lead to precious lifespans being wasted. Now on Sanskrit words and names in Norse myths and poems. Raun, pronouns Raun, is the goddess of the great waters. The waters are Ægir, and Raun is his wife. Raun is the perfect order in Ginnungagap, in the great waters. We show up in the feast at Ægis when we transcend. Here we gain the perfect orderliness into our mind and consequently into our physiology. Raun, the goddess, Rögn, the gods, Regin, the gods, are words derived from Sanskrit Raj. Where from would all this etymological resemblance come? Hugin, Munin, Odin's ravens, Yogin and Muni, enlightened men. Did Aesir as men come from India? Names of places support the theory. And know that we have many lifespans. Óðinn ævi vín eitt unir, en kjöt gefur hann greyjum sínum. We live eternally by the flow of wisdom alone. Our mortal bodies go to the recycling process. Our hel, or Helja, is a lovely coffee break between lifespans. She is cold and half blue. We change bodies as we change worn-out clothes for new ones. Nothing really dies. All is but cycles. Cycles small and huge. Nothing is really happening in Helja. Life in a body is for evolving, but for sure our karma does not fail us. Urður verðandi skuld, the law of karma. As we sow, so we shall reap. The natural law of action always having the equal reaction. Something set forth travels, bounces, and bounces back to its origin. Urður is an action, act. Verðandi some process, skuld our duty and debt. Baldur dies not, he is an eclipse. Nothing dies. See Stjarnvísi Eddum by Björn Jóns og Manitoba, Skjaldborg, 1989. A good book. Baldur, the sun god, is our Yule, our sun at winter solstice, resurrected. And Baldur, the sun god, is our spiritual sun as well, rising. The light of life reborn. This is a Celtic cross. Skaði seeks Baldur. Enlightenment is the purpose of our lifespans. Please tell our bairns what for they have chosen to be born. They must know. Askur and Embla, man trees, like Askur Yggdrasils. We have roots in that, and we should get nourished from that. Odin ville we, by curiosity, looking for knowledge, start some creation. In order to keep balance and equilibrium, we have Jötnar, Etuns, the eaters, who sweep up all the unnecessary stuff. At Ragnarök, the end of this our universe, the broken symmetry, bosons and fermions, goes back to the perfect symmetry again. This is the fate of all universes. Human lifespans are precious. Let us not waste them on vanity. We shall transcend, nýsa niður. Use our most precious faculty to do so. By transcending, we bring peace to all, to nature, to peoples. Our reverend forefathers really possessed the greatest wisdom and knowledge. Hvar hatur vex með hildingssonum, það má ekki bæta brátt. Wherever hatred grows among the sons of kings, that I can amend at once. Because transcending in groups has influence into the surroundings. Please refer to the Maharishi effect, the scientifically proven theory on how we can wage peace in the world of men. Our consciousness is the basis of all there is. Nothing else is. We are consciousness. Please learn to transcend. Do research in consciousness. You will not understand by listening to mere words about it. By Guðrún Kristín Magnúsdóttir, Goði, Iceland. Nickname Goði. Books Óðsmál on Amazon. Search Óðsmál. Pure spirituality and abyss in Norse myths and Edda poems. YouTube search Goði for many short chatters on heathenry.